All right, so let's talk about what we are going to do today. So we have, of course, choice reading, and I should have something else on there, which is a work day. So you're going to be working on your project, and I want to talk you through anything and any questions that you may have. So first, read for your 10 minutes, and then you are going to be working to create your image or perhaps looking for text that's going to support what you are doing for your project. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. So I did put here the days that you are presenting. So if you are in orange on period 3, you are presenting on Monday. And here, if you are in orange on period 4, you are presenting on Monday. And of course, if you are not orange, you are presenting on Thursday of next week. So just want to make sure that's really clear. Just as a reminder that I won't be here the rest of the week, and so if you have questions, please make sure you use Miss Sandstrom. And I'm also going to have a discussion today and the other days that are going to link you to the questions discussion that you can ask anytime, you can answer each other, and I will also be checking that to make sure that if anyone has questions that I can answer that. Okay, so this is what we talked about yesterday, your summative group presentation, where you will have 2 personal slides that you will create. On those personal slides, just like my example here, you will be creating some piece of art, right, that's going to be representing that literary device that you are going to talk about. And remember, on the first slide there, you're going to say these are the topics discussed, and then here, this is my literary device focus. I'm focusing on illusion. And then here you can see I have text evidence where my allusions are in the text. I have my theme statement up top, and I would encourage you to go to those Padlets because we wrote really good theme statements on those Padlets. So if you feel like, oh, I don't have one that really matches, I bet you could find one there. Or you can use one from another group member. Some groups asked if they had to have the same theme. You do not. You could have a different theme statement from your group members, but you may also have the same theme statement. So it's really up to you. So for today, you're going to either be kind of looking for your text and putting it in here, or you're going to be creating your project, either or. So I want to talk a little bit about why we're doing this and what it means to analyze. So here I have a lovely picture, and I'm going to make this larger so we can all see it. I have a picture of my daughter. We were here at the park, and here she is. And I want to talk about analysis because sometimes students really struggle with it. And what I'm really asking you to do is to look super closely at a small portion of this giant text. Because sometimes when we look at something really small, it can inform us of the larger story the text is trying to say. So an analysis is a detailed examination of the elements or structure of something. You can think of these images as like your reads. So see this first image, here's my kid, and you're like, oh yeah, they're playing at a park. And yeah, she is. She's there, she's playing at a park. But when you look a little bit closer, you're like, oh, I didn't even notice that there's little mushrooms. And you look even closer and you're like, how are they growing? So then maybe you pull one out and you see, oh my gosh, these mushrooms are like growing right on the wood. So see, you look and you discover and you look more closely. This is kind of every time you read a text, every time you go back to it, and that's what I want you to be doing right now. Looking at the text really closely, examining it and seeing what is there and how can I create something. So you can be very creative with this. You can use whatever you want. I would encourage you to kind of see what's around your house, what type of recycled materials you have to use, or old things laying around your bedroom. Scraps of paper work just perfectly. If you want to get super fancy and do some paper mache, you absolutely can do that. So today, working on your creative project or gathering your text evidence, both your picture, or I shouldn't say picture, your creative project and your text evidence should focus on the literary device that you decided to do yesterday. If you're like, that was a terrible idea, now I want to switch, as long as your group's okay with it, I'm okay with it too. You also want to, again, think about that theme statement, how it supports it. I did link them here, and if you go to our homepage on modules, at the very top, it has all of your resources there that has all the Padlet, and it has the PDFs of your text when you're trying to search. So once again, remember the little hint that I gave you that if you go to the PDF, this is going to have the Padlet here on top that you did, and you can use that, of course. But if you go to the PDF, right, if you go to like the full online text, you can use that Control F, and maybe I'm going to be looking at the, let's see, maybe I'm going to be looking at imagery. So I'm going to use the word saw, like every time he saw something. and then push enter and it'll, oh, it's not highlighting. There we go. It was just taking a while because I have too many things running here. And it'll highlight the text for you and you can kind of see those different places. I found that really helpful when I was doing my example. So use that to help you. Also, the literary devices that we looked at yesterday, if you are doing character, we've already done some character work, and I'm going to expect you to go a little bit deeper. So make sure you look at these literary terms and you're really understanding what am I asking you to do. So if you did something like mood, make sure you have an understanding of what mood is and watch the little videos and do that. After that, that's all we really have. So here I have an assignment for you. It is an individual assignment, so you'll each be turning it in. And that assignment is just a draft. Show me what you've been working on. It's probably halfway done. It's not going to be perfect, whether it's some of your PowerPoint and your text. Maybe it's just a notebook where you're writing down stuff. Maybe it's a sketch of what you're going to do. I just want to see what you're working on to make sure that you are kind of working through this process. And then the discussion today is optional. All it's going to be is the questions that we normally have. So if you have a question, go ahead and put it there. As I said, answer them if you can, and I will be answering those as well. So hopefully you will have a very productive workday. I suggest you keep your phone in another room while you work and maybe put on some music, hang out, and kind of enjoy the process.